Hey guys, it's Mitzi from Always 3 Travels and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you some reviews on some Royal Caribbean excursions that we took while we were on Wonder of the Seas. We stopped in Rome, Pisa, and Naples, Italy. And the first tour that I'm going to go ahead and review is going to be the express train to Rome. Now, your tickets will be delivered to your stateroom. It will have a meeting location on the ship and a meeting time. Don't be late because they will leave you behind. You'll have a cruise representative disembark you from the ship, take you outside to meet your tour guide. We arrived at port of CIVITAVECCHIA, which is approximately an hour and a half away from Rome. This particular tour was just for the tour guide to take us on the train to Rome. And we had approximately 5 hours to Rome. That's funny. To go out on our own and kind of explore the city. There was an air-conditioned bus waiting for us that took us to the train station. Then we got on an express train to Rome, which took about 45 minutes to arrive in Rome. Local trains take about an hour and a half. The trains were very clean, the restrooms were clean, and there was a place to charge your phones. So you can bring your phones, bring your charger, and charge your phones. Approximately 45 minutes, we arrived at St. Peter's Station. She gave us a location of what time we were going to meet back and where. And then she was headed towards St. Peter's Square near the Vatican, and we just tagged along with her and walked to the Vatican. Outside St. Peter's Square, there are some vendors that sell some souvenirs, but right next door to the entrance to St. Peter's Square, there is a authorized Vatican dealer. The store's name is Sorrento that sells rosary beads that are blessed by the Pope. So inside the square, it was beautiful. There was approximately already almost 200 people waiting in line to go through security to visit St. Peter's Basilica. If you're planning to visit St. Peter's Basilica, get your tickets, get the skip the line tickets. I didn't think we would have enough time, so I did not purchase them. Inside the square, there is a water fountain where you can go ahead and grab some water. So be sure to bring your empty reusable water bottle. Right outside the square, there is a souvenir shop called Galleria St. Pietro that had some beautiful statues, just the wonderful souvenirs, and they did sell gelato. I believe they also had a small cafe just in case you were hungry. Walking down the street from St. Peter's Square, we decided to visit the Castle of St. Angelo. This used to be a mausoleum and a prison. It was used by the Pope as a prison and a fortress. The tickets are approximately 12 euros for adults. We did not do the tour. Again, it was very last minute. We did not plan well. We thought we would be taking a cab to the Colosseum. The Colosseum is approximately an hour walk from the train station, but the taxis were on strike that day. So no taxis. We were afraid of walking and being too tired and walking back and not being able to get back in time to meet our tour guide. If you can't meet your tour guide at the assigned time, they will leave you. And then there's no way for us to get back to the port because there are no taxis since they were on strike. Another thing I would recommend if you decide to go to this castle, please be sure that you're extremely mobile. It is a lot of stairs, a lot of walking up and down, tight spots, and then it was hot that day. So definitely something you want to consider. If you do decide to visit, take the tour, bring water. They do have a cafe on the premises that sells sandwiches and drinks. Lots of places to stop and kind of sit down. They did say the view of the city was beautiful from the top. So that was the goal, to make it up to the top and see the view and take some beautiful pictures. And here is the view of Rome. There's not a lot of signs giving a lot of history throughout the museum. Again, very last minute, definitely worth the 12 euros. But I would have liked to have been part of a tour to learn a little bit more about it. We walked back to St. Peter's Square and decided to have some pizza for lunch and some amazing cookies. At that point, Savelli's was very close, so we decided to visit Savelli's. They have beautiful arts, again, rosary beads, a lot of souvenirs. And then, of course, we walked into town, walked around a little bit, and decided to pick up some more gelato. We walked back to the train station to wait for our tour guide because, again, we did not want to get left behind. We were a little bit paranoid since there were no taxis, so there would be no way for us to get back to the port, and then the boat would leave us. It was a very small train station, very clean. Definitely nice, but I would have opted to take a different tour. For sure. The not having taxis available to go to the other sites was a little bit disappointing. So definitely take that into mind when booking your tour. Our next stop is going to be Pisa. I decided to do Pisa by Trolley. Again, there's a meeting location on your tickets. And then there was an air-conditioned bus that took us to Pisa. So Pisa is approximately an hour and a half away from the port, one way. It was a 4-hour tour. So we spent a lot of time in the bus. The best part of the trip was seeing the sunflower fields. We then picked up our trolley that took us around town because the bus was too big, the streets are too narrow. It was a great ride. We got a little bit of history. The tour guide had a very heavy accent, so I had a little bit of a hard time understanding him. Pisa is definitely a small little town. Then we're dropped off at this location. So where they dropped us off, there was a food truck that sold gelato. We picked up gelato on the way back. We walked down the street and this was going to be our meeting location. Right down the street from our meeting location, Restaurant Il Turista. They have a great souvenir shop. Definitely, if you need to use the bathroom, they have clean bathrooms as well that you don't need to pay for, and they do have a restaurant. We had approximately 30 minutes to kind of venture out on our own, which was a little disappointing. This is the bathroom in Restaurant Il Turista. The toilet bowl, the water, the tank is on the top, so you have to just pull the metal chain. And they do also offer a 20% discount for cruisers. So we arrived at Pisa. It was very full. There is no shade. Shade is very minimal. We did not have time to do anything except kind of look around real fast, maybe use the bathroom so we could get back on the trolley and go back to the bus. It was very quick. I was extremely disappointed. Pisa is very commercialized. My honest review is it is not worth the money. I should have gone to Florence. So if you have to choose Florence, you'll have a better time. Our last stop is going to be Naples. And here we opted to do the taste of Sorrento and Pompeii. So again, our tickets had our meeting location. Please be on time. If not, they will leave you. And everybody in your party. So if you're going with a large group, make sure everybody in your party is there early. We had a bus, air-conditioned bus waiting for us, and we took a drive out to Sorrento. Sorrento is approximately an hour and a half away from Naples. It was interesting that our tour guide is actually an archaeologist, and he told us that Naples is built on a volcano, and it is an active volcano. And if the volcano was to erupt, then Naples would be no more. I thought that was kind of interesting. And that is Mount Vesuvius. In the back, it is a active dormant volcano. The drive into Sorrento was beautiful. We were going to visit a farm to have a taste of mozzarella and salami. Very nice drive, very scenic. The roads are very windy and very narrow. So if you don't like narrow roads, this might not be the tour for you. We arrived at the farm. The first thing we arrived to see was the animals. It's about a 4-acre farm. The bathrooms were clean, men and women in the same area, so it was not separated. So don't be surprised about that. Virgin Mary. They were growing roses. The kitchen, which was amazing. And then they gave us a demonstration on how Maria, which was our host, makes mozzarella. So listen.
5 cows in the morning, 50, 60 liters of milk. Same thing also in the evening because the cows get milk twice a day. She has to mix in the milk rennet. Rennet is an enzyme. It's a starter. Just to 50 liters, she put 1 teaspoon of rennet. After 2.5 hours, the milk with the rennet, look what happens. So this was liquid milk and now it's coagulated. This you call curds. There is a leftover liquid that is the whey. So we have curds and whey. And I told her it was not. So what she do, she has to separate the whey out from the curd and she boils the whey on the side out. When that whey boils, so that is not boiled, that is the whey. When it boils slowly on the top of it, brings out another type of cheese. It's a light white cream that she has to scream out with things like this. If you love Italian food, you can have, cream of this light cream Italian cheese. Carlo told you that.
No.
Okay. Oh, it comes brownie. Do you know what means ricotta translated in English?
Ricotta. Cottage cheese.
English, no, but we can translate ricotta in English. It's the same word. Different pronouns. It means recooked. Ricotta cooked again. So it's not a name of a cheese, but it's a process because the whey have to be boiled up often and often raise the cream on the top. And it's light because the fat is here in the curd. But it's full of protein. We use a lot of ricotta. We use it for in cannelloni, ravioli, lasagna, or we bake cakes. Yeah, but there's now a second use of that whey. She uses it again. She makes the whey again in the curd so that now the curd changes the consistency. We can eat it with the work of the hands. And believe me, it's really hot. Only hot. You can see the steam. And this is naturally the old way to show you. In the past, every family did it this way. But now it's rare to find ladies Korean or farmers better time to make it. very normal. She doesn't like it and she doesn't make it. Maria have different shapes here for different uses. So the one that she most makes is a treccia. Treccia means braid of luck. It's a nice round braided ring. That is the shape that the people love to buy because it's nice for the presentation. You have first enjoyed to see and then you enjoy to eat. That's why she braided. It's the work that she has learned from her mother. Maria was, she's the third generation. She was 16 when she started to learn how to make the cheese. And you know that Maria makes the cheese since she was 16. Okay, now she's 35. And you know this is not showtime. This is a real story. This Maria makes every day, 7 days a week, and that for the whole year long. So no vacation. Sometimes she said to me, Rose, I make this 8 times in a week because they dream in the night about me. Especially now, because this is nicer to work it when it's cold because you warm the hands up in the hot liquid. But now this is I think this was a cool week for us because it cooled out. A week ago it rained too much, and so it cooled the temperature, but we are expecting next week high temperature again. So this is not nice to make it every day, and twice a day. And all the cheese what comes out is not a big amount, just 10%. 10 kilo a day, so 10 grades. So this is not enough to make this. This is your only to do. Those who come to visit the farm, and that she has local time to pollinate before to enjoy the cheese for the day after. So look how she's grading it now. And if you want, you can take a nice picture with Maria and the grade. She loves the part. She doesn't speak English, but she understands it. And before you take the
Then they'll take you over to the dining area where you can taste some of the ricotta cheese and some marmalade and some wine that they make on the farm. On the left here you have orange marmalade, and on the right you have lemon marmalade. It was good. I think it should have been given on bread that was a little bit thicker. Maria did make some cake, and that was for sale for approximately €2. So we had some wine, and then we had fresh homemade mozzarella, ricotta, tomatoes, and salami. It was amazing. My daughter is not a tomato lover, but she ate it. So we took some bread that they gave us and made small sandwiches. This is the view from the dining area. After the farm, we headed back into town, into Sorrento for some shopping. We had approximately an hour and a half to shop, which was great. It's a small, quaint town. We were dropped off at this location and then given a meet time. We needed to use the restroom, of course, so we headed over to Palazzo Januzzi. They have very clean bathrooms, and they sold some art, some clocks, so definitely you could do some shopping. They had everything: jewelry, bracelets, souvenirs. It was a great place to go. So then we headed back into town. Now there are 2 streets. This is one of the streets for shopping. And then this street is also known for the shopping. This is a very narrow street with lots of little shops and little vendors. There is a great chocolate place down this street that gives samples that is just phenomenal. You definitely want to try them out. Then we got back on the bus and headed to Pompeii. Because we were with a tour guide, we did have a separate entrance. So there is a beautiful view and a beautiful walk into Pompeii. And you see the ruins on the left-hand side. Then we arrive at where the gladiators used to fight. So in this square, this is where the gladiators fought. It was very interesting to see everything original, right? Well, not every single thing, but so like these wooden doors, this is where the slaves would live. This was the slaves' quarters. And you had approximately 4 to 6 slaves that lived in this little itty bitty room. This is the theater. And then we enter and start seeing the town. Now, again, the tour guide was amazing. He is an archaeologist. They are currently still digging in Pompeii, and he told us the difference on how we can tell when it is a house or a business. This is the street. Everything is original. And these grooves in the street are original from the carriages that used to ride. And again, because of the front and what certain things they could tell whether it was a bedroom, a kitchen, a garden, things of that nature. The slaves' quarters were on the second floor, always. This is the entrance to somebody's home, original tile. This was the public bathhouse, and the men and women did bathe separately. This was a public pool, swimming pool, and only men were allowed to go in the pool. And slaves were not allowed to go to the public bathing houses. This is something they found. This is a person, so the remains of a person that they believe is a slave. And they believe it's a slave because of what is around the waist. This is the entrance to a brothel. Prostitution was legal, as well as homosexuality in the 1700s. Only men were allowed to go to the brothels. As you can see, there's pictures of different positions where the men could point to, and that was like their menu. They could ask for what they wanted. This is the beds. Pompeii was extremely interesting. There is so much to see. It was a hot day. I would recommend bringing a fan, bring a hat. There is no shade, and it is a lot of walking. The tour lasted approximately an hour and a half. The tour guide was amazing. He did allow you to kind of go off on your own and gave you a time and a meeting point right outside of Pompeii. This was probably my most favorite tour. I would definitely recommend it. So Taste of Sorrento and Pompeii. You will love it. So thank you so much for visiting my channel. As always, travel safe, travel well, travel often. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and see you next time.